Golden Boy could sue the promoter and say, that's my fighter, you can't fight him, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't stop the fight from happening. That just means that whatever profits you make off of that need to go into a protected account so that after our lawsuit is settled, if I win, you can pay me whatever you lost. Canelo's been through this before because he screwed over his managers when he signed over to Golden Boy. He was under a management contract with, I don't know if it's El Create, but some guy out of Miami. And that manager's like, hey, look, I'm going to let you fight these 4 fights, but I'm going to get my percentage after it's done because I have a valid contract with you that is good. The Miami court and the Miami jury found that to be true, and Canelo had to pay that manager out. Okay? So you can box all you want, but be understanding that if you lose that lawsuit, you're going to have damages. So Canelo's got to make that choice. Now, can he self-promote himself, do something down in Mexico, charge people $5 a head to download his Facebook Live and make $50 million? Yeah, he could. And who knows if that's going to get taken at the end of the day, or that's something that they could deal. So there's avenues out there for him to fight. He can't be stopped from fighting. He can just face the penalties after it.
He and from a boxing perspective, and I've told Manny this, I've told everybody who's not a fan. I said, look, man, he's done boxed himself in a situation where every fight's dangerous, man. Because like Manny said, he's 5 foot fucking nothing, and he's fighting these big, strong guys. And at some point, there is going to be only the David Benavidez is left. There is going to be only these guys, so it's going to happen. So he's gambling with time, money, the whole 9 yards. And because, like you said, he can't make that 47 and 52 healthy. So from the boxing perspective, he's fucking boxed in. Now with the litigation, promotion, it's a hell of a position.
Or he just sucks it up and says, look, I'll be your spectacle DAZN because you want me to fight all these UFC dudes to make money on it. Sure, I'm your pawn. Let me fight these guys.
I did La Jolla for your contract.
and that's what Manny was saying earlier about legacy, right? Well, do you go beat up a bunch of fucking MMA guys who can't fight in a boxing ring? And they're not boxers. So do you beat them up and do what? What does that do?
Fight Billy
Besides paying their money. That show, giving them their show.
Catch Terrence Crawford as catchweight somewhere, meet somewhere in the middle.
Terrence Crawford ain't gonna go up to meet Canelo, and Canelo ain't coming down to meet him. So how you gonna do that?
I know. Hey, make something happen.
I think his mind from a boxing perspective was that 68. 68 is dangerous. Caleb Plant won't fight him. I think David Benavidez will fight Jesus if he comes down. He put some fucking gloves on. So
he could fight the Charlos. They could do a litany of things that are actually good for boxing, but DAZN is looking at the figures. I mean, DAZN
is at 35.
DAZN makes more money off their darts than they do their boxing. F1 they don't care. Their platform, they were trying to take over boxing, but I think they thought, oh, look, all we got is really Golden Boy. We can make a lot more off of the English sport. And plus they got Matchbox. I mean,
yeah, that was their 2 entities. But you would think, I guess, when they had a game of money, they thought if I go buy the biggest boxer in fucking boxing, they just went about it, I guess, the wrong way, maybe, depending on how this goes out. But we'll control boxing too, but it ain't working out like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. So the end result is what? So he gets froze out for how long?
The end result is this gets delayed, and Canelo doesn't fight until May.
Fuck.
And he loses the lawsuit on the force majeure because
I agree.
Boy has no obligation to do anything, and if they're smart, they won't do anything. They will try to figure something out that's never going to happen to say that they're doing some sort of effort to make them look good. But
yeah,
look at every major promoter right now. Who major has fought other than Top Rank is starting to get into it a little bit, but you don't see anybody major fighting that needs a live gate to make those purse amounts because the 5 gates of $100 million to pay the main event and try to make some money on the event.
Of the three entities in the lawsuit, the one that needs to do the most spin and try to come out of it smelling right is I think Golden Boy, bro, because when DAZN is protected from what you're saying, and in the end, Canelo needs to fight. So that'll be fucking 2 years off by next May?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And what happens if DAZN comes and say, look, we gave you 10 opportunities to fight in this capacity. You didn't want to take it. So, and we don't even have a contract with you. We have a contract with Golden Boy. We gave you over to Golden Boy. You didn't want to do it. So
what happens with that?
If you want to fight, we gave you those offers to fight, and you don't want it just because you don't want to fight the people we want you to fight. So I think he loses on both aspects.
Per agreement.
Because legacy in my boxing career isn't a legal defense as to why you should win this lawsuit. It's just your contract says I'm going to offer you this amount of fights, and if you don't accept it and it's not a reasonable denial, then we did what we were supposed to do.
So he got plenty of opponents out there. Plenty.
Does he end up, they fucking turning him down too? What? You think he ends up just fighting whoever they want him to fight in the end?
Yeah, this is going to drag on until May of next year, and he's going to fight. I mean, somebody that he wants to fight, but he's not going to be fighting anytime in 2020. He's not going to be fighting anytime in early 2021. So he's going to have a Cinco de Mayo fight in 2021, and
that'll be one fight in 2 years, huh? Before it's over with.
Yeah, unless they come to a quick agreement in some way. But like I said, I mean, just time-wise, I mean, if De La Hoya did nothing but just answer in the time frame that he's supposed to file legally, he's just eating up 3 months, 4 months once DAZN starts filing motions to dismiss. Because if De La Hoya is smart, he's just going to ride those coattails and drag this out.
Well, you answered mine. I figured the whole out was Canelo just trying to get from underneath Golden Boy, and you saying you don't think he'll make it. So that answered my question. I figured that was the only out.
How much bad mouthing am I willing to take before they agree? But Canelo's the only thing that De La Hoya's got. I mean, he's got a good stable of fighters, but none of them are really bringing in a ton of money. So unless he wants to relegate himself just to doing Tuesday night fights type of stuff.
So he needs to. So what does he need to do? He needs to convince Canelo to do the shit he promised DAZN he was gonna make him do. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically, that's what he needs to do. And Golden Boy won't get. You don't see Golden Boy getting held liable for promising DAZN they'd make him do something he's not contracted to do. That's how it plays out.
When was this contract signed with DAZN?
2019 is when it started, so probably late 2018 they were in talks, and then 2019.
After Fielding, right? After the Fielding fight?
I think Fielding was his last fight. Or no, maybe Fielding was his first fight with DAZN.
Yeah, right around that time.
Because Triple G was his last fight with HBO because he had the HBO contract before that.
Right.
So that's why De La Hoya had to get with some sort of broadcast.
So if Golden Boy is not going to be held responsible for having a contract with somebody saying A, and then go and make a contract with another guy saying B, which ain't in A. How does Golden Boy not end up having any responsibility? How are they not held liable for anything? Because
it's not in the contract. Part of your contract is going to be no matter what we talk about here, unless it's written down and we agree to it in a contract, it doesn't mean shit.
Right.
So same with his agreements with DAZN. So it's really just how much dirt do they want to get on Oscar or Eric Gomez to say you guys do dirty business and don't deal with you anymore. Because they could say, look, yeah, we're going to get our boy to fight Triple G, no problem, and that doesn't pan out. It just didn't pan out. Now we're in this contract. How are you going to come after me? Just because I gave an oral agreement that he would fight this guy? Well, it didn't happen. Sorry. What do you want from me? I thought the whole stipulation was they got the DAZN deal based on a third Triple G fight and 2 fights, one a premium. Look, DAZN show if there's any truth to who they think is a premium fucking opponent, they fucking
insane. But if that's why they gave the Golden Boy contract based on that fight, how real you think that is?
Then it would need to be in the contract written saying you are guaranteeing us that you will fight Gennady Golovkin.
And you don't think that's in there?
No way. How can you agree to what a third party will do?
Well, then fucking De La Hoya ain't really liable either. Then that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. The best thing De La Hoya can do is to stop back and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm a D-bag, but
I got you. But then he really ain't
stop working with De La
Hoya. That's why
Hoya.
he's sleeping good at night. He really ain't in breach either.
So
De La Hoya doesn't have any money. So okay, so now you're in a lawsuit, but Golden Boy Productions probably doesn't have $100 million in his bank account because they pay themselves out their salary. So once that money is in the account and paid out to the employees, it's not gettable anymore. So De La Hoya is not personally liable to anything, just Golden Boy Productions. So okay, I gotta bankrupt Golden Boy Productions. We'll open up De La Hoya Production, not call it Golden Boy.
Changes everything in my perspective because if there's no conflict of interest between contract A and contract B in black and white, what's the fucking problem there?
Okay, so Canelo's going to be out for the rest of the year. He'll possibly fight in May. De La Hoya is going to sleep good at night. He's really not going to be liable.
He really don't have to though. Canelo can just make a fight, right?
How you see the zone making out in all of this? Because they're already in trouble as it is.
Yeah, they're in trouble. I mean, it's in their interest to get him fighting and get people on the platform because they're going to be losing the monthlies. I mean, I'm not paying my DAZN bill.
No.
I canceled that. There's nothing on it.
Me and you both.
So,
both.
If they want to stay in boxing, then it's in their best interest to get them something. And that's what I'm saying. I don't see why they can't get him over in Saudi Arabia. I don't see why they can't. I don't know what England's doing with live events right now. I think they're doing some sort of capacity. So
wasn't they fighting in?
They were making them offers to say, "Look, will you take a short stack right now, and we'll guarantee you on the back end."
Well, I think that's what they was trying to do, offering them $15 million to fight whoever. But I don't fucking know. Ain't they fighting in Eddie Hearn's
backyard
or something in the backyard? Yeah, they he set up a fucking ring in the backyard. We used to do that in the 80s. So really it's just basically who got the brownie points, what Canelo's gonna settle for as far as a monetary thing, because the zone has the perfect excuse to not pay you the $35 million because they ain't got it and no way to make it.
Yeah, and like you're saying, litigation becomes combative. Well, if these attorneys are smart, they won't be combative, and they'll get their clients what their clients want, and not what the attorneys want, and try to settle it out quick and figure something out. Because
how long is Canelo's contract with Golden Boy? Do you have any idea?
2023.
So he'll be 34 when he's out. 31. I mean 33, 34.
33, 34, but
I kind of agree with Joe, though. I don't see no 40-year-old, he ain't going to 40 either, though. These is his prime spots right here. He needs to make everything he can make right here.
So I think he doesn't fight until May if they want to fight this out. If they don't, then they'll come to some sort of agreement and say, look, we'll put you over in a different country and figure this thing out. And it's to his benefit. I mean, look, he's already a rich guy. He can sit back and do what he wants to do. He could retire now if he wants to. He doesn't want to because he wants to fight these guys to beat everybody. So figure out a way, get him some sort of percentage off of that. I mean, DAZN's got to have to do something, or De La Hoya's got to do something to make the fighter happy, because without the fighter, they don't have the income anyway.
Is this like a game of chicken for these guys? See who budgets first?
It is. So it's just a matter of who wants to relinquish something. I don't know what the margins are on a DAZN show. I don't know what they're paying out. Obviously, they got to guarantee the site fees and the purses to Canelo because that's their contract with De La Hoya. And De La Hoya is saying, you got certain minimums in my contract with you, which is obviously has to be about $35 million to meet this $280 million guarantee.
Isn't that right? I mean, do you see any other fucking promotions paying that kind of money? I
I mean, PBC would probably be